Good evening and welcome to the 7 o'clock news here on CNC3. I'm Charlene Ramdani.
Good evening. Glad you can join us. I'm Samson Anton.
In the headlines tonight, a second bronze medal for Trinidad and Tobago. It comes in the 4x400 meters men's relay. The Police Complaints Authority says complaints against police officers not decreasing.
Drama on the North Coast. We bring you exclusive footage of a military training exercise. China's government gives our military millions of dollars in equipment.
And in sports, TNT's men relay team picks up a bronze medal at the London Olympic Games while their female counterparts crash out of the 4x100 final. Top of our news tonight, a second medal for Trinidad and Tobago at the London Olympics as the men's 4x400 meters men's team powered their way to third place, winning a bronze medal and finishing just behind the Bahamas and the USA. Chester Zambrano has more.
Oh, Miller, Bahamas get it, and Great Britain in fourth place as started the medals.
More accomplishments for the hard-working Trinidad and Tobago athletes over in London. On Friday, the team bagged its second bronze medal of the Olympic Games. Lalonde Gordon, who won this country's first medal at the Games on Monday, led off the bronze medal winning team, which also comprised of Jaron Solomon, Ade Allen Fort, and Dion Lendor. As the race was being run, anticipation was high all around this country. The CNC3 newsroom was no exception, as some of the men and women who bring you the news had their hearts almost in their hands. But the joy of this country's accomplishment at the Games was shared by many others, as some kicked off the Friday evening lime early with much to celebrate.
I jump, I scream, and say I come to drink a beer because I'm celebrating. So I think the Prime Minister can give me a day for that one.
I feel real proud. I feel real proud about it. But we got bronze. We can do better, but I feel proud.
Well, I was so excited, you know. I wanted him to come first or second at least, you know. But he came third, and you know, I'm pleased about it. Yeah. And we had to be proud of our Trinidad and Tobago, you understand? We got to be proud about our country, regardless of what.
At the last count, Trinidad and Tobago stood at number 69 on the medals table. 205 countries are competing in the 30th Olympiad in London. For CNC3, I am Chester Zambrano.
We go live on the line to speak to one of the proud fathers of the members of the bronze medal winning 4x400 meters team, Larry Allen Fort. He is the father of Ade Allen Fort, who ran the third leg of the race. Good evening, Mr. Allen Fort.
Hello?
Yes, good evening. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can even hear you, but very faintly.
All right, well, let's see if you can try and fix that problem. But I'll just ask you to first tell me, of course, you must be oh so proud.
Sorry?
I said you must be feeling so proud tonight.
Yes, I am, of course.
Tell us a little bit. Have you spoken to your son at all?
Well, not as yet, no, but before the night is over.
Well, tell us a little bit about your son and his journey to the London Olympic Games.
I didn't get that last part.
I said, can you tell us a little bit about your son and his journey to the London Olympic Games?
Well, it started really back in 2002 when we joined Brooklyn Sports Club. We joined Brooklyn Sports Club under the late coach, Constant, who passed away in 2008. And he has dedicated himself to the game. He won a World Youth medal, silver medal in 2005. He won the Trinidad and Tobago Olympic Sport and Education Award in that year as well. In 2007, he got a gold and bronze at the Pan Am Juniors. He got a scholarship to Louisiana State University, which is, as you probably know, one of the track and field powerhouses in the States.
Right.
And he's finishing off there this year.
Oh, right. Well, tell us something. Well, we heard some of those jubilant Trini supporters just now saying that we should get a holiday. How do you think your son's accomplishment should be honored by the country?
Well, I wouldn't really want to comment on that, but I mean, once people recognize that he has done well, I think, you know, we will be happy with whatever the government wishes to bestow for him and the others.
And I'm sure you must...
Effort.
I'm sorry, I'm sure you must have been expecting a gold for him, perhaps. Are you, you said you haven't spoken to him, but are you at all, slightly disappointed, or are you just happy with this bronze?
Well, last time I spoke with him and the other guys, they said they were going for gold. And I encouraged them that that's the view that they should hold. In fact, if you read today's Express, you will see an interview with him there with Comey Lawrence, saying that he feels that the Americans are vulnerable, and he was smelling blood like a shark in the water. That's the nature of the fellow. He's very determined, very aggressive in his approach to what he wants to do. And I know that they went out there ready for gold, but they were outgunned by bigger gunners. So we're happy with the bronze because this is Olympics, and I mean, you don't get a bronze there easily.
Agreed. Absolutely. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us there. On the line, Mr. Alan Forth. He's the father of one of the proud sprinters who took part in that relay today, and we bagged ourselves a bronze. And we thank him so much for joining us on the phone. Well, we're now joined by our sportscaster, Astel Wren. And Astel, the 2012 Olympic Games seems to be going really good for Trinidad so far. The team has made it into about 10 finals. Josane Phillips and Andrew Lewis, who made their Olympic debuts, showed us promise, and we have 2 medals with 2 more days to go, and we still have 2 events. How has it been going so far? Do you agree that this is one of our best Olympics ever?
Well, yes, Charlie, it is a very good Olympics for us, and in the latter part of the Games, well, the TNT athletes, they seem to be coming into their own, especially in the track and on the track, that's where the strength of this contingent lies. And when you look at that run today, that relay run, that 4x400 meters relay run, the final leg by Dion Gordon, that Dion Lendo, that summed up the entire mood and the entire feeling of the country and the athletes themselves. It was courageous. It was a life run. It was one in which he was dying in the end, but he looked and he saw the red, white, and black, and he crossed the line to bring home that bronze medal. It was a tremendous run indeed.
Yes, I agree, Astel, a tremendous run. And we'll hear more from Astel and our team's exploits from London later on in our Sportscast. Well, it's now time for your vote. And the question we'd like to ask you to vote on tonight is, would you consider the London Olympic Games to be TNT's most successful Olympics so far? Text your response to the number 2623. If your response is yes, you're texting the letter Y, and if it's no, the letter N. We'll give you an update on the voting as we go along and the final results at the end of our newscast tonight. And stepping away from the Olympics now, complaints from the public against police officers are said to be increasing. Director of the PCA, Gillian Lucky, says for this year, there are over 300 investigations currently underway, of which almost 70% are claims for the use of excessive force. Chester Sembrano has the details.
As the police service campaigns to regain the confidence of the population, it is being hit with yet another morality blow. Newly appointed Acting Police Commissioner Stephen Williams on Friday met with the Police Complaints Authority in an attempt to iron out a positive way forward for the police service. But Director Gillian Lucky released some bad news, saying that there is a growing number of complaints against the police officers.
If I therefore had to say what were the number of live matters that the PCA is dealing with, it would be a little over 350.
But how many of these complaints are for excessive use of force by the police?
Of those matters, I would say 60 to 70%.
Lucky says Acting Commissioner Williams has been asked to play his part in reducing this figure, and he has agreed to review the use of force policy. Acting Police Commissioner Stephen Williams is also being asked to deal with another issue, one where a number of his officers have been found telling untruths when they go to court.
There have been instances in which judges, for example, have upheld no-case submissions because police officers have been found to be strangers to the truth, or in some instances, as it is put quite bluntly in the courtrooms, they are found to be lying.
The PCA director says measures are being put in place to report such incidents immediately to the acting commissioner for action to be taken against offenders. She believes the introduction of Mr. Williams as head of the police service is a positive step forward and says a number of new initiatives are coming. For example, the introduction of CCTV cameras in charge rooms and outside holding cells at police stations. For CNC3, I am Chester Sambrano.
5 helicopters, several Coast Guard vessels and scores of soldiers were engaged in a major military training exercise in the secluded Murphy's Bay area in Blanchisseuse today in an effort to develop their skills to combat drug runners. The exercise was watched from the air by National Security Minister Jack Warner and the Chief of Defence Staff, Brigadier Kenrick Mirage. CNC3 was the only news station airlifted into the area, and tonight we bring you some exclusive footage. Cameraman Vern Tika Singh and reporter Samson Nanton filed this report.
From the command center in Aranguez, we journeyed north by a national security helicopter across the northern ridge heading to the secluded Murphy's Bay. For the last 3 days, members of the military were in the jungle on a major exercise to ensure their readiness to combat drug runners and any other enemies of the state. Early Friday morning, they were to demonstrate how air, sea and ground assets could work together at a beach only accessible by air and sea. We waited with the soldiers, looking on as they prepared themselves for the arrival of the Minister of National Security, Jack Warner, and top military personnel to display their skills, Coast Guard vessels patrolling the distance, soldiers getting their weapons ready. The arrival of 3 helicopters would signal that the hour of strike had arrived. Drug runners walk the beach as a boat comes in to take away their leader, but before they could make a move, the military personnel move in and the drama unfolds. It's been an annual exercise by the military, one they say that is critical to their abilities to defeat those determined to bring harm to this country.
While this operation may seem as a very exciting war game, these officers are training here specifically to ensure that drug runners who may try to bring illicit drugs into or out of the country are not allowed to do so.
As expected, the drug runners end up dead or captured, the military the victors, the country protected. The North Coast, we're told, has been increasingly a high transfer area for illicit narcotics, and the military believes that even while they trained, they were able to deter and even crack down on real cases. They are hoping that this would send a strong message not only to the drug runners, but also to law-abiding citizens that the military is fully prepared.
Meanwhile, the Chief of Defence Staff, Brigadier Kenrick Mirage, says the operation was a good display of the unity between the different units of the Defence Force.
There's the Joint Force doctrine that the Defence Force currently works its operations in accordance, was demonstrated this morning by the Army. So while the Army was a lead effort in the exercise this morning, you would have seen as part of the exercise the components from the Air Guard and the Coast Guard, and that actually is in keeping with our Joint Force doctrine. All of our operations that we engage in, and even the interagency operations with the police, is in accordance with the Joint Force doctrine, where we bring the synergy of all of the assets of the Defence Force to bear on whatever the issue is, whatever the threat is, whatever the target is, and whatever the issue is out there.
We now continue with the news with Samson Nanton. Samson.
Thank you very much, Charlene. Quite a different outfit from how I was earlier today. Quite exciting out there in Blanchisseuse as well. Well, we want to ask you to vote on the question tonight, reminding you of that question. Would you consider the London Games to be TNT's most successful Olympics so far? Text your response to the number 2623. If you want to respond yes, text Y. If you want to respond no, we'll ask you to text N. We'll give you an update as we go along, and the final result will come up at the end of tonight's news. Now, we also want you to vote to determine who was the most influential person in Trinidad and Tobago over the last 50 years. Every night, we unveil one of the 50 most influential personalities from the year of our independence in 1962 right up to present day in 2012. You can also vote via 2623. Now, here's what's coming up after the break. Housing Minister, he promises to report into improprieties at the EMBD soon. Millions of dollars in medical equipment, a donation from the government of China to Trinidad and Tobago's military. 10 days to the end of the month of Ramadan, we look at a special tradition among Muslim leaders. And later, the Chaguanas mayor threatens to get rid of the borough's health department staff. These stories and more when we come back.
Be inspired. It's time to awaken your creative senses with a new kitchen appliance from Quartz. Come in and select from our wide range of the world's best brands of appliances. Win a stocked fridge of Presidente beer, Coca-Cola, and Dasani water with the purchase of any major appliance. And what's more, if you shop today, you'll get something special with every purchase of Whirlpool and Mabe kitchen appliances. So be inspired to create that delicious masterpiece with your new kitchen appliance. Only from Quartz, bringing value home.
As the news continues, a report will be submitted in the coming weeks regarding alleged improprieties at the EMBD. Minister Dr. Rudal Munilal paid a visit to the company's offices today following a controversy which erupted at a board meeting several weeks ago. We have more from Otto Carrington.
Housing, Land and Marine Affairs Minister Dr. Rudal Munilal on Friday paid a courtesy visit to the Estate Management Business Development Company at its office in Val Park, Valsayn. The EMBD was formed in 2002 by an Act of Parliament, but in recent times there has been controversy with regards to improprieties which caused some appointed board of directors to resign. Dr. Munilal says the concerns of former directors are being queried and a report will be submitted in the coming weeks.
We had instituted a committee led by my advisor, Mr. Askar Ali, who is here now, and they are conducting an inquiry into those concerns raised by board members. We had a very progressive meeting a few weeks ago, and several of those members had attended, and they shared their concerns. Based on the recommendations, we'll take it up at the level of the board, either through policy, or we may have, depending on some of the issues raised, to have some deeper, inquiry. But I prefer not to prejudice the findings of the report.
On the issue of the replacement of board directors, Dr. Munilal says in September all board directors will be assessed.
I imagine we can continue until about September, October, and then the board as a whole would be reviewed.
The minister also repeated his recent decision to integrate all estate police officers under his ministry to protect state properties. The minister also visited other offices that now fall under his ministry purview. For CNC3, I am Otto Carrington.
National Security Minister Jack Warner says he considers the statement made by this country's ambassador to the United Nations in Geneva, Therese Baptiste Cornelis, at an international symposium inappropriate. Ambassador Cornelis has been recalled and will meet with Foreign Affairs Minister Winston Ducran in Port of Spain on September 3rd. Minister Warner was responding to media questions on the issue today.
Well, I think it was an inappropriate video, but I wouldn't want to say much more than that. I think in some ways I will have to see her to get from her more than the video says, because something has to have happened, and I don't want to make some judgment that is too rushed. So I think when she comes back and we speak, I might be better able to make a judgment.
The government of China has handed over millions of dollars in medical equipment to this country's government to be used specifically for or by the military. The equipment was handed over at the Air Guard's base in Piarco this afternoon. We have more in this report.
A gift from the People's Republic of China to this country in recognition of 50 years of independence. Millions of dollars in medical supplies to the military from the government of China.
The handover of these medical equipment, therefore, is a gesture of our appreciation of the support we always receive from Trinidad and Tobago.
Ambassador Yao Ming says a Chinese military band will visit the country as part of the independence celebrations. Chief of Defense Staff Brigadier Kenrick Murad says that the equipment will go a very long way.
It is profoundly appreciated that this robust package of medical equipment will serve to treat with a wide range of healthcare concerns now and in the future. Today is indeed a great day for the soldiers, sailors, airmen and airwomen who are committed to serving the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago with courage, loyalty, integrity, mutual respect and discipline.
National Security Minister Jack Warner says that there are no adequate words to thank China for the gift. He says the military and all arms of the protective services must be treated right as they give so much to protect the country. He's also promising the construction of a military hospital soon.
Special medical facilities for the protective service, for the defense force in particular, that they don't have to go to line up in hospitals and to beg as it were for medical assistance, medical treatment. I want to have a facility for them, their spouses, their immediate families, retirees, whereby they can go to get medical treatment.
The Air Guard only recently received a helicopter that is already outfitted to be used for medical purposes. With 10 days to go to the end of the month of Ramadan for the Islamic community, tonight we explore a tradition that occurs for the last 10 days called itikaf, where elders in their respective masjids, they seclude themselves from the world with constant prayer. Otto Carrington was granted exclusive access to observe itikaf today at the Palmist Muslim Association. He has more in this report.
Etikaf means seeking the night of power in the last 10 days of the month of Ramadan by seclusion. This is a tradition which follows in the steps of Prophet Muhammad. On Friday, for the first time, CNC3 News got the exclusive opportunity to see just a few Muslims that have kept themselves in seclusion for the last 10 days of the month of Ramadan. Imam Imran Abdul of the Palmist Muslim Association says etikaf is very significant for Muslims.
By secluding ourselves for this last 10 days and, worshiping the Almighty Creator, connecting ourselves directly with the Almighty Creator and cutting off ourselves from the things of this world, then we will also be able, because within this last 10 days, there's only one night. There's only one night from sunset until the break of dawn in the morning, one night where this is known as Laylatul Qadr, or the night of power. And so to search for this one night, we have to seclude ourselves for these 10 days.
At the Palmist Muslim Association, the seclusion blinds were drawn up. Here the men will stay. Females are allowed to do the etikaf, but not at the masjid. Imam Abdul says etikaf is a spiritual journey selected Muslims are privileged to undergo.
It is a sunnah which is called sunnah mu'akkada, emphasized practice of the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him. And so in many masjids throughout the country and throughout the world, this practice will be established in slightly different ways, but it will be taking place.
But while etikaf was taking place, Imam Abdul took time to offer advice to the country about the values it must believe and practice.
Many times the word honorable is used to and fro, to the government benches and to the opposition. And many times they use it, but unfortunately without the meaning of the word honorable. And so for this Ramadan, for this Eid, I would like not only, it may apply more to them, but not only to politicians, but throughout the length and breadth of our country especially, because of the fact that we have lost the value of life for one another.
For CNC3, I am Otto Carrington.
Well, it's time now for What You Saw, where we highlight the photos and the video you send us. The address news@cnc3.co.tt.
Stacy sent us these pictures. She says that this car on the left, heading north on the Uriah Butler Highway, in the vicinity of the Mount Hope Hospital, went into the left lane as if he or she was exiting to go on the PBR, but proceeded to re-enter the lane to cross the PBR when the light changed to green. Stacy asks, when will the lawlessness end? Next, Jamie sent us two pictures on St. Vincent Street in the vicinity of the Red House. Jamie says that first depicts a motor vehicle parked right in front of a no parking sign. The second is of another motor vehicle parked right in front of a fire hydrant. Jamie says what was most worrying was that two police officers walked past and appeared not to be bothered. Farah sent us this picture of a vehicle on the eastbound lane carrying a structure which, according to Farah, was unsuitable for the vehicle. Farah says it could have overturned around any corner. And finally, Michelle sent us this picture of CPEP workers celebrating the country's 50th independence. Michelle says it's great work.
And if I do say the more the merrier, then we can see in terms of the celebrations for this country's 50th independence anniversary. It's really a good work there. I think that we can get a lot more going on. Could really make, bring that patriotism out. For me, you can send us your video and your photos as well. The address news@cnc3.co.tt. And Charlene is in her patriotic red today.
And it's unfortunate I haven't seen more celebrations in terms of decorations, really.
Yes,
it's some of the public buildings. So, all right, well, let's go across to Astor Red now. He has a look at your sportscast. Astor.
Well, thank you so much again, Charlene. Well, coming up in this evening's sportscast, this country's men's 4x400 meters relay team lands this country's second medal at the London Olympic Games, while the 4x100 meters men's team advances to tomorrow's final of the event. The women's 4x1 team, well, they failed to finish the race. Bruce on the Loose is a favorite to win the Jetsam Horse of the Year award. And India's batsman Suraj Singh is selected in his country's T20 squad to face New Zealand. All next on Sport.
Andre Tanker's music is definitive of the Caribbean folk jazz genre. Before he was a teenager, he had learned to play first the pan, then the guitar and quattro. Later, he taught himself to play the harmonica and vibraphone. He was influenced by jazz, Cuban percussion, Orisha music and Indian classical, all of which were woven into highly original and distinctive compositions. Apart from concerts and recordings, Andre wrote music for movies and theatre, including Derek Walcott's Tijan and His Brothers in 1972 for the New York Shakespeare Festival. In the following year, the score for Bim, a movie set in Trinidad. Andre Tanker's vision of ethnic unity through music was evident in the fusion of the pan with other instruments in his early band, Andre Tanker and the Flamingos, which was the first local band contracted to play at the Hilton Hotel in 1963 to 1964. His band One World Contraband gave full expression to this vision. The band has toured the Caribbean, the United States and Italy, among other places. Among Andre's many awards are 2 Caciques in Trinidad and Tobago in the 1990s.
The 50 most influential personalities since independence. We want your view via text on Facebook and online at 50tt.guardian.co.tt.
Stream, share faster than ever before on Digicel's super-fast 4G network. It's summer in 4G. Get your smartphone with a smart plan on the smartest network in TNT. Sign up for our newest postpaid smart plans now. Plus, for a limited time, get 1 month subscription free and 4G smartphones for $199. Be extraordinary. Digicel.
Feeling for something nutty? Yeah! KC Candy Butternut Bar, the only one you truly need. The old-time flaky, nutty, great-tasting KC bar. Having only one is just not enough for this great, nutritious, nutty treat. KC Candy Butternut Bar works for your craving. Available everywhere. KC Candy, we make every moment sweeter.
Get to the head of the class with Shilton back-to-school shoes. The most durable back-to-school shoes in TNT with real leather uppers and stitch outsoles from just $164.99. Plus, get 1 pair of socks free with every pair purchased. Shilton, available exclusively at Detour.
It's gonna be a great day. Got my ginseng up, hey. Let's focus, people. Come on and get it sorted. Get more out of your day. Get things done efficiently. Let's go with it. Come on and just drink it, people. Drink it up now, drink it up now. Ginseng up now, ginseng up now. Oh.
Enjoy the new look and same great taste today. Ginseng up, the root of all power.
I think as an artist, it's important to know who you are and what you're for. It's always good to come back home, come back to base, to my roots. If we are a dot, let's be the most creative, passionate, energetic dot they've ever seen. I for that. It's just that amazing simplicity that I love about Trinidad that continues to inspire me. What are you proud about? Tell us on Twitter by tweeting I4TANDT.
Where there's love for country, there's energy. Where there's energy, there's BPTT. Shaving can irritate skin, causing dark marks to become visible. Dove has the effective solution. New Dove Clear Tone Antiperspirant. The result? Underarms with visibly reduced dark marks and an even tone. New Dove Clear Tone.
In 2008, Richard Thompson claimed double silver. In 2012, it's the story of Lalan Gordon and his double bronze. The Tobago-born runner combined with Jaren Solomon, Ade Alefort, and Dion Lendo for the bronze medal behind the Bahamas and the USA.
Lalan Gordon was just 3 years old the last time TNT made it to a men's 4x4 Olympic finals. Our 1964 bronze was 24 years before his birth. But today, he led off our most recent challenge.
So the final of the 4x4 underway. Not a lot in it as they go into the back straight. On the changeover for Great Britain, it's Jack Green.
Gordon put in a strong first leg. The stagger, though, left many confused. Jaren Solomon went hard to ensure that the second handover was made with TNT just about even. But that's where the Americans and the Bahamians managed to open a bit of a gap on the tiny twin island.
USA, Great Britain fighting for a medal now. A lot of pushing and barging at the final changeover now.
Ade Allen Fort being encouraged in by Dion Lendor, the man with it all to do on the final lap. On the back bend, he appeared to be fading, but on the home straight, his last kick was just too much for the chasing pack.
Angelo Taylor's a powerful sub-45, but he's being pressured all the way, and Martin Rooney of Great Britain's coming through. The Bahamas are going to take this. I can't believe Angelo Taylor's been beaten by Ramon Miller. Bahamas get it, and Great Britain in fourth place, just out of the medals, just behind Dion Lindor of Trinidad and Tobago.
Swamped by his teammates at the finish, as TNT had our second bronze medal at London 2012. It came in a new national record of 2 minutes 59.40 seconds. Reporting for CNC3 Sports, I am Jassi Merik.
Well, a missed exchange left this country's women's 4x100 meters relay team, and all of the country gutted this afternoon as they watched the USA run away with a new world record and the Olympic gold medal. The team's least experienced member in Michelle Liai could not pass over to the most experienced in Kellyanne Batiste, leaving the stick stranded on the backstretch while the rest of the field sped to the line. Jassi Merik has more.
The USA in command, looking for their first Olympic 400-meter women's title in the relays since 1996, and Jetta takes it. Karen Stewart tries to chase her, but in vain. The USA, Jetta, world champion last year, wins the relay 48-2, a new world record for the United States. Jetta is ecstatic.
Not first, not second, not even third. If you came into the room midway through the USA's new world record 40.82 second run, the question would have been, where's Trinidad and Tobago? So let's take it back a few seconds. A confident-looking Michelle Liai had the lead-off leg for TNT as our woman stood 3 exchanges away from history, starting in lane 4.
Off they go, the USA and Jamaica off well. Madison has gone off very, very quickly for the United States and has done well in her matchup against Shelly-Ann Fraser-Price.
Hold up, pull it back. A closer look at that first handover showed that the exchange was incomplete. Another angle here. Young Michelle Liai devastated as Kellyanne Batiste seemed to have gone too early. On the last exchange, Simoy Hackett was dejected as well, exiting the track. The USA was followed home by Jamaica. Russia came in third. Trinidad and Tobago, though, failed to finish. Reporting for CNC3 Sports, I am Jassi Merik.
Well, however, the men's 4x1 relay team will be looking to avenge Batiste and Company's heartbreak as they qualify for tomorrow's final by way of a narrow third-place finish in today's semi-final. Keston Bledman had it all to do in the final leg in a combination with Richard Thompson, Mark Burns, and Emmanuel Callender in a 38.10 seconds run. The USA ran away with that heat in a blistering time of 37.38 seconds.
Richard Thompson starts fast for the Trinidad and Tobago team. Germany also moving well. The Americans appearing to be ahead at the moment. That's Davis Patton handing over to Trell Kimmons, and the Americans are there in front. Here comes France and Trinidad and Tobago. Here's the finish now. The United States in command. Sprinting away Justin Gatlin. There goes Bledman looking for a top 3 finish on the far outside. The Japanese are there, getting second, Trinidad and Tobago third, so TNT are in the final.
Well, Jamaica, without double individual gold medalist Usain Bolt, well, they also clocked a stunning time to advance along Canada and the Netherlands from semi-final number 1. Nesta Carter, Michael Frater, Ewan Blake, and Kema Bailey was their quartet, and they broke the tape at 37.39 seconds. The final of this race is at 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. And World Junior Javelin Champion Keyshawn Walcott is targeting a top 8 finish when he competes in the Olympic final tomorrow. Speaking on CNC3 Early Morning Show with Jassy Marique, Walcott's manager Sean Roach says that expecting Walcott to medal in the heat in the event as a junior may be asking too much, which is why they have set more realistic goals.
The goal was to become #1 in the world in the juniors. He got that in April. The next goal we had was to win World Juniors. I mean, all these goals were set in January. He achieved that goal. The next goal was to at least make it to the finals in the Olympics. He has already achieved that goal. Our goal for Keyshawn for the Olympics was to get there and to get the experience. Because, I mean, Brazil, we really want to go out there and give our best effort to stand on that podium. And, you know, what he has done so far has been tremendous. You know, and for him to set another goal and say he wants to come in the top 8, I mean, let's see how he does.
Well, that final begins at 2:20 p.m. tomorrow. And sailor Andrew Lewis, who had his first experience at the London Olympic Games, has vowed to do better and be in medal contention in 2016. Lewis competed in the laser event and came out of the Olympics in position number 37. Andrew Lewis describes his Olympic experience as a wow experience, unforgettable, unsurpassable. He added it was also successful for him as he qualified for the Olympics in position number 46 and left in position number 37. The TNT sailor pointed out his performance was consistent and he was particularly pleased with his last day effort.
So I worked as hard as I can and I wasn't getting the performance what I would have wanted, but every day I improved. If you look at my results, every day I went up, every day I went up. And eventually last day, I don't know why last day I got things together and finally got the results I wanted. I had a 14th in the first race and then in the last one a 22nd, and I was coming at 1.20 in the last one. So I had my best last day to close off the Olympics, and that's something I'm really proud of.
Lewis stated his preparation could have been better, seeing that he started 2 years before instead of the customary 4 years. But he's looking forward to the next Olympic Games.
I can't wait to get back into training to go and beat those guys in the future competitions, you know. And I have, even Olympics in the next 4 years, I have CAC and I have Pan Am coming up. So I'm really looking forward to CAC Mexico and Pan Am in Canada.
The 21-year-old Lewis is back home and has proceeded on a short vacation, after which the planning starts for a new chapter in his sailing career.
Now I'm about to basically sit down in a few weeks with my coach, my manager, my fitness trainer, my whole team, and plan my next 4 years, short-term and long-term, because we have seen a lot of success. We have learned a lot. My whole team was there in England with me, supporting me as best as possible. And we definitely all are hungry for the next Olympics, and we all are hungry for the next best performance we can start doing.
Well, the burning question in the horse racing fraternity as to the horse of the year will be answered tomorrow when the 29th edition of the Jetsam Awards function comes up at Santa Rosa Park in Arima. The ceremony is scheduled to begin at 1 p.m. and there will be a presentation of awards in 10 categories. The top award, of course, will be the naming of the horse of the year. Minister of Trade, Industry and Investment, Vassan Bharat, will present the trophy for the horse of the year. The principals in line for the horse of the year award are Boogie Blues, Bruce on the Loose, Signal Alert and Sir Bass. The ceremony will be held in the forecourt of the grandstand at Santa Rosa Park in Arima. An Indian batsman, Yuvraj Singh, has been named in his country's T20 squad for the home series against New Zealand and the ICC T20 World Cup next month. Yuvraj Singh is making a comeback to the cricket field after his battle with cancer. The left-handed batsman last played for India in the home series against the West Indies. The hard-hitting batsman is quoted as saying he would like to make his return to competitive cricket in the T20 format of the game. The full Indian T20 squad looks like this. Well, Dhoni, Sehwag, Gambhir, Kohli, Yuvraj Singh, Suresh Raina, Sharma, Tiwari, Pathan, Ashwin Khan, Balaji, Chalwa, Harbhajan Singh, and Ashok Dina. Well, it's youth versus experience in tomorrow night's when the local fighter Princely Isidore takes on John Trotman of Barbados in the lightweight division at the Chaguanas Indoor Sports Arena. at today's weigh-in ahead of their 10-round non-title fight. The 27-year-old Princely Isidore weighed in at 135, while the 42-year-old Trotman was 3 pounds lighter. Speaking ahead of his fight, well, Isidore is quoted, he doesn't know much about his opponent, but will be dependent on his experience to guide him through the rounds.
My experience so far that I've gained, from amateur boxing, coming right up on all the other different type of fights that I've had, it all helps in all different ways. Just getting in the ring is always a plus. Just getting in the ring is always a plus.
Well, Princely also stated he's looking to fight as much Caribbean fighters as possible before getting into a possible world title match in the heavyweight division. Well, in the heavyweight division, Kenneth, the Ironman Bishop, who weighed in at 216 pounds, he faces Neil Frederick, who missed the weigh-in. And on to tonight's Sports High, where we take a break from the regular funny pieces and we return to the norm as this country's men's 4x400 meters relay team, they picked up the bronze medal at the Olympic Games. It's some 20 years ago. This country's 4x400 meters men's relay team, with Lalon Gordon on the first leg, Jared Solomon the second, Ade Allen Ford on the third, and Dion Lendo on the anchor leg, produced a national record of 2:59 to secure the bronze medal at the London Olympic Games. Dion Lendo on the final leg produced a courageous and determined run to take the red, white and black over the finish line. For the effort, we say well done, and with it, the CNC3 Sports High. Well, that's our sports package for this Friday evening. It's back to you, Charlene.
I'm sure the entire country is endorsing our pick for Sports High tonight, Astor. Good pick, good pick. Thank you very much. Well, let me remind you of tonight's Your Vote question and give you an update on how the voting is going so far tonight. The question you're voting on: would you consider the London Games to be TNT's most successful Olympics so far? Well, remember, we qualified for 10 finals and 78% of you don't think it's a bad showing at all. You voted in yes, while 22% of you won't agree it's our most successful games so far. Well, we still have 2 events to go, so you never know, those things could change. Your feelings just might change. Well, you still have a chance to get your vote in before the end of tonight's newscast, and we do encourage you to take part. Well, coming up just ahead on the CNC3 News at 7, just 2 days to go before the curtain falls on the games of the 30th Olympiad, and we take a look at some of the lighter moments from the last 2 weeks. All this and more on the CNC3 News at 7. Stay with us.
There's really one thing you can depend on: friendly service every day. There's really one standard of treating you like you deserve to be. Yeah, Republic gives only the best to you. We get personal attention, so explain for your inspection.
Lovely cricket. Our cricketers, our heroes, a nation forged from the love of cricket. Come celebrate Trinidad and Tobago's half-century with 2020 for 50 Cricket Festival, featuring the TNT and Jamaica national teams and our very own Brian Lara and Darren Ganga all-star teams with regional and international cricket stars. Queen's Park Oval, August 24th to 26th. 2 games daily, 2:30 p.m. and 7 p.m. Get your 2020 for 50 tickets today at selected sports and games outlets and Queen's Park Ticket Outlet.
When it was announced, the suspense was over. And then when I looked at the contestants behind me and all around me, I realized what it meant for Trinidad and Tobago. What makes me proud about Trinidad and Tobago? It's really the spirit of the people. We are a beautiful people. What are you proud about? Tell us on Twitter by tweeting to #I4TNT.
Where there's love for country, there's energy. Where there's energy, there's BPTT.
We're testing new Degree, the only antiperspirant activated directly by movement. Activating protection, Bear! The more you move, the more it works. New long-lasting Degree with motion sense. Not me! Keep running.
It's so pulpy! Wow! refreshing orange juice drink with real fruit pulp. Pulp up your life with new Minute Maid Pulpy.
We now go across to Eric Mackey for a look at your weather. Eric.
Thank you, Charlene. Well, Tropical Depression 7 hasn't strengthened any. Last night the depression formed, or yesterday afternoon at around 5 p.m. It was announced by the National Hurricane Center. And last night I said that by today it would probably be a tropical storm. And if it did, it would be the 7th of the season and its name would be Gordon. However, the area that this tropical depression is passing through is not particularly conducive to formation of a tropical system, and it has been struggling. Over the last couple of hours, however, we have been noting a bit of an increase in cloudiness and intense showery activity and some thunderstorms near the center. So it's possible that during the night tonight, we will see it pick up and become a tropical storm. Now, this system will not affect us directly in Trinidad at all. It is going to go into the island chain somewhere around Barbados. And all of the islands, from St. Vincent northward to Martinique, St. Vincent and St. Lucia, Barbados, Dominica, Martinique, all of that area is under tropical storm watch tonight, but Trinidad is not because we are outside of the area of the tropical storm. It's not a particularly big storm as yet. In fact, it's not big at all. And it's going to go through the islands and go into the Caribbean Sea and possibly develop further once it gets down into this area, following a very similar track to that of Ernesto just a little over a week ago. Closer to home, we have an intertropical convergence zone out to the east of us here. That's becoming fairly active, and that will affect our weather later tonight and into tomorrow. It does look like tomorrow is going to be somewhat wet. There are showers and isolated thunderstorms in the forecast as that intertropical convergence zone activity comes over both Trinidad and Tobago. The winds are going to pick up a bit. We're forecasting around 12 to 18 knots, possibly up to 20 sustained, gusts to 22, and it's going to change into a northeast to east-northeasterly direction as the storm system passes to the north of Trinidad. Seas are going to increase a bit as well, up to 1.5 to 2.5 meters, possibly as high as 3. 8 to 11 second interval between those swells out of a northeast to east-northeasterly direction, but in the Gulf of Paria, seas should remain around 1 meter or less. Trinidad, tonight's forecast will be partly cloudy with isolated showers, mostly after midnight. There's a chance for a thunderstorm in the early hours of the morning. Tonight's will be 23 degrees. Tomorrow, we're looking at variably cloudy conditions with moderate to heavy showers and isolated thunderstorm activity during the day. Met Services advise that gusty winds and street or flash flooding can occur near heavy downpours. Tomorrow's high forecast will be only 31 degrees. Across in Tobago tonight, partly cloudy with isolated showers again after midnight, and the chance of an isolated thunderstorm near dawn, low of 24. And Tobago tomorrow, very similar to Trinidad with variably cloudy conditions, moderate to heavy showers, isolated thunderstorm activity. Again, the gusty winds and street or flash flooding possible over there. High in Tobago tomorrow, forecast to be 30 degrees. Sun's going to rise at 5:56 a.m. and sets at 6:26 p.m. The first low tide for Port of Spain will be at 5:06 a.m. and for Scarborough 5:50, and the first high tide 11:40 a.m. for Port of Spain and 12:08 p.m. for Scarborough. And that's my weather report for now. We'll have a look at the travelers' forecast. I'm going to take a short break, and when we come back, Charlene, I have some more news to you.
You're talking to your best friend when
you're going to clean their family.
You get cash back. You're talking to your best friend when you realize you're always a winner. You're talking to your best friend when you get a makeover. You suddenly feel like dancing. every dog gets its day. You have your cake and eat it too. Nightfall. You're talking to your best friend. Whatever else happens, always get extraordinary value with Digicel. Get $1 cash back for every paid minute on local Digi-to-Digi calls made during the day, so you can talk more at night. Be extraordinary. Digicel.
Anyone can be the one. Be responsible and don't drink and drive. Designate a friend and lime again. Be the one. A message from Trinidad and Tobago Beverage Alcohol Alliance.
Welcome back. Admitting that there are numerous challenges in the fight against crime, the police say they welcome the appointment of 2 new deputy commissioners and are ready to work with them to overcome these obstacles. We have more from Samuel McKnight.
4 days ago, 2 new deputy commissioners were appointed. They are Raymond Craig and Simon Alexis. And today, at the daily police briefing, fellow members of the service welcomed the 2 officers to their new positions. ASP John Archie expressed willingness to support their strategies in the fight against crime.
Anyone who aspires for promotion in any organization, of course, it's self-motivating, it's motivating for anyone. And whoever is placed in that position or at the helm, we are here to support and implement any strategies that they may come up with that will assist us in our service to the community.
ASP Archie also used the opportunity to reiterate the need for more tools for all officers to do their jobs.
Vehicles, human resource, new technology, anything that will assist us in our role as police officers to carry out our mandate, we will welcome and ready and raring to implement.
According to ASP Archie, these and other challenges are making the fight against organized crime particularly difficult.
To say that we have reached the point where we can deal with crime at all levels, at all times, we continue have to review the strategies we use since crime change daily. We are seeing more organized crime. So say we have reached the stage where we're going to deal with organized crime, we have to keep up with the criminals out there.
For CNC3, I am Samuel McKnight.
Chaguanas Mayor Orlando Nagasa has threatened to get rid of the borough's health department staff. He made the statement following the monthly statutory meeting of the corporation on Thursday. Mayor Nagasa said he was not pleased with the performance of the team headed by Dr. Balasetti, a doctor from India who was recruited by the borough. The mayor said the council has received numerous complaints that the garbage collection is irregular and is not satisfactory.
We must have a clean borough. We are spending millions of dollars on garbage collection. And these collectors, the garbage collectors, they cannot be so, should I say, disregard instructions given to them by the corporation.
He said the health department is supposed to monitor collection and make recommendations. However, he said the work was not getting done to the satisfaction of Burgesses. Mayor Nagasa said the borough spends $7 million annually to collect garbage in 11 districts.
In some areas, they're very irregular, passing at all time of the day, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the evening, and this is not acceptable. So the day we held, we called in the principal medical officer of health. We spoke to him at length. With he's in charge. They boxed up with him, because he's in charge of the health section, together with the other inspectors attached to his department, and we have asked them to reconcile and to make sure that these things are corrected within a week or so.
We now take a short break. Stay with us.
On August 31st, 2012, Trinidad and Tobago will celebrate 50 years of independence. And the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian is the only national daily newspaper whose tradition stretches back through all 5 decades of the independence era. To mark this occasion, the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian explores its exclusive and extensive archives. Every day until August 31st, look for our unique Golden Jubilee series, capturing significant events that change the course of Trinidad and Tobago's history. Through the triumphs and the terrors, the hopes and the heartbreaks, only the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian newspaper was there.
We now bring you a summary of the main international developments of today.
A boost to the rebels in Syria. The UK pledges millions more in non-lethal support. But is it enough to turn the tide? Going hungry in India, despite the country's economic growth, millions of children are still struggling for survival.
Here in this warehouse, there's enough wheat to feed 1 million people, and there are hundreds of others across the country. The question is, why it's not getting to the people who need it most.
We now take a short break. Stay with us.
Get the news first. Read the Guardian newspaper anytime, anywhere, online. Take advantage of our special introductory offer of just $4.99 US per month and receive daily a digital replication of the printed newspapers as seen on newsstands. It's convenient and environmentally friendly. Act now. Log on to www.guardian.co.tt to sign up today. Get the Guardian e-edition now. We give you the power in your hands.
An improved performance from students who wrote this year's CAPE exams. That's the word from the Ministry of Education as it released its statistics on the exam. Students on Thursday collected their results from their respective schools, and the results were released online since Wednesday. There was an improvement in the performance of students overall, with 65.5% obtaining grades 1 to 3 compared to 61.8% in 2011. However, the ministry says girls continue to outperform the boys in the examination, with a percentage pass for females of almost 70% compared to the 65% for the boys. The ministry says this year also saw less candidates writing exams, quoting a figure of 8,826 as opposed to 8,992 from 2011. With just 2 days to go till we say goodbye to the London Olympics, we take a look back at some of the lighter points of the Games. In keeping with last week's On a Lighter Notes theme of Olympic fashion, who would have thought the costumes for synchronized swimming could be worthy of medals themselves? My favorite, Brazil's internal organ suit. Can you spot the heart? And it comes complete with a swim cap that I think is supposed to look like a brain. Definitely one to make a whimsical designer like Betsy Johnson smile. And speaking of whimsical, check out Spain's crustacean-looking suit. Well, stepping away from fashion to the joys of photography, video just doesn't give you this take on the athletes. Enjoy these shots from men's springboard diving. And this one from last week didn't make it, but we had to throw it in for classic memory's sake, as it has become one of the most memorable sights from the Games. London's Mayor Boris Johnson getting stuck on a zip wire as a way of celebrating Team GB's first Olympic gold. The mayor was just dangling there for a few minutes, much to the delight of spectators. But he's a good sport and made a joke of it all, saying, "I think it's supposed to go faster. Whee! Isn't this a lot of fun?" Ah, Boris, such a flamboyant character. Londoners expect nothing less from you.
Bolt wins again! Look at the time! 19...
And finally, Usain Bolt may be as quick as a flash, but the world's fastest man also proved he's got some skill behind the cameras as well. Here are some of Bolt's pictures he took with a Swedish photographer's camera yesterday after he won gold in the 200 meters final. As we go, let's bring you the final results of tonight's Your Vote. Would you consider the London Games to be TNT's most successful Olympics so far? 74% of you voted in yes, while 26% of you voted in no. We now come to the end of the 7 o'clock news here on CNC3. Thank you so much for your company tonight. I'm Charlene Ramdani.
And I'm Samson Anton. Have a good night.